Yo, 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 what's good? This is Chairman House of Barf. How's everyone doing? I hope great. Hope your families are great. Hope your friends are great. Hope your health is great. Hope your wealth is great. Thank you so much to anybody and everybody who decided to take time out of their wonderful day to come kick it with your man at the house. I appreciate it. Right now I am in a funky place right now. And looking at YouTube shorts, and it stated to me, through various shorts, do not, and it wasn't even just YouTube shorts. It was actually, I was talking to somebody yesterday about everything that I'm going through. And they say, don't let the devil get in. The devil's going to try everything to break you down. Looking at YouTube shorts, something came across saying the same thing. Listen, you're going to have, as soon as you start getting a spirit of happiness, of moving forward, of doing something with your life, you're going to be tested. Not only, we can't always just say it's the devil. It's by God too. God wants to see what you're going to do in these situations. You know what I'm saying? Like, to my trap stars, I always care about my trap stars, and I'm not trying to encourage it. I'm always praying that we can always find another way, because what young trap boys don't understand and girls don't understand is you got a brain, but it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, let's say you're hungry and you have a craving. You can't crave something that you haven't had before. Well, it's not that you can't crave something you haven't had before. It's that your brain says, I want a milkshake. Essentially, your brain is saying, I want some glucose, I want some sugar. But when your brain says, I want sugar, your brain goes to, I want milkshake. It doesn't go to, some fruit in India that you've never had. We all, to an extent, are victims of proximity. Unless you're part of some mass situation that's global or something. For the most part, we're victims of proximity. So if you're craving, I don't know, chicken or steak or something, your body is saying, I need protein. But it can't tell you that, hey, can you go get something that's some fish that's in Japan or something that you've never had? You know what I'm saying? So that's what it kind of is for me, to describe an extent where young bulls and trap, girls, they are hungry. They want to eat. And what's right in front of them? The trap kings and queens standing outside, trap kings and queens standing or in the house, but they got the cars and the clothes, and you don't, and you're hungry, and the only thing that you can immediately think of to feed your hunger is to engage in this trapping. So, but one thing that's difficult to do is to be able to eat something that you've never heard or had before. For the first time, I had this thing called biryani or something. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It was delicious. Never had it before. It was just chicken and rice and whatnot, but it was delicious. I was like, what is this? And they're like, I think they said it's chicken biryani or something. Forgive me if I said it incorrectly. Been having a few dishes that I haven't had ever in life. Dim sum, that was Chinese, but then there was this other dim sum, which was chicken curry dish, or dim sum or something. I can't remember. But I've been being terminated, and in having time. You never have the money, but in doing these things, I've been able to enjoy life. Oh, and that's what we're getting to is, in enjoying life, there's always going to be something to test you. For example, when I was going to my trap stars, let's say, for example, you got some young bull that's coming around. Oh man, because what happens is something shocking happens in the house, right? Mommy can't pay a bill. Brother's ill. Dad isn't home. Sister is in and out of homes. So much. And you're hungry and you want to get something to eat. So as somebody who sees this kid or whoever, teenager or man or woman, you put them to a test. Now, there's two different tests going on. Now, there's a spiritual test going on. That hunger is there for a reason. That beast in your belly is in there for a reason. And now that's talking about spiritual warfare. That's talking about God and everything. God wants you to be tested. See what you're going to do. What you going to do? You going to go out there and be with them trap kings and queens? And you're going to get yourself locked up? Miss the opportunities that God has for you? That too. But on the other note, on a more simplified note, the person's going to test you. They're not going to give you like a whole pea off jumps. They're going to give you like an onion. Something small, a zip. You know what I'm saying? And just see what you do with it. You come back with the money. What do? They trust you. Okay. This person's trustworthy. Okay. You come back with nothing. They say, okay, this person is not only trustworthy, but they're a full-fledged idiot. What did you do with that zip? Oh man, I was sitting in the house and I was depressed and I started smoking one J after another, and before I knew it, I only had half of it and I didn't know what to do, and then I just kept smoking more, and before I had none, can I get another one? It's like, hell no. Not only are you a failure, you're fucking stupid and should get your ass beat. Get the fuck on. You know, so in the situation that I'm currently talking about, is I feel I'm being tested in the most vile, disgusting ways. And I'm sure things could be worse. Everybody always says it could be worse. It could also be better. God is testing me in ways that are just, in my personal opinion, just low, downright, and dirty. There are things that should never happen, but God will test you. And not only is, we always want to say Satan's testing us, or Satan's trying to creep in our life. God's testing too. And in these moments, God wants to see, how am I going to behave? You have no idea how bad this weekend was for me. It was awful. Every second, every minute sucked. The whole weekend. Went into today. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start fresh and we're going to have a great day. What happened? Started up again. Right when I thought I was going to have some quiet time. And right now, I don't know if you can tell, I'm not in a quiet space. I got, people around me and whatnot. But I'm trying to be quiet and do this. It started again today. I said, you know what? The weekend was god awful. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn around my attitude. I'm going to turn around my situation. And I'm going to get started with barf today. As soon as I get ready to get started, everything is dying. I have one charger and I can't even find my long charger. I'm working with this short-ass charger. And my laptop is dying, my phone is dying, everything's dying. Again, just more hurdles. And so it was getting started today. Next thing you know, things just got out of whack. So didn't really get no barf done, nothing. Just, and I really do want to give appreciation to anybody and everybody who decided to stop by and kick it with your mans. I appreciate it. So all I'm asking for right now is if, to anybody who's, listening or anything, please be patient with me. I'm a little Tinder right now. With everything that's going on, my mind is not in the right place. It was getting there. It took 2 or 3 months to get out of everything I was dealing with my previous company and the turmoil I was dealing with. That it took about 2 or 3 months for me to finally get to, I would say, a neutral spot, like maybe -1 or 2, but to a neutral spot where I'm like, okay, I'm okay. Then I'm starting to, get, confident in my barf. It was crazy yesterday. It just hit me that I'm creating content. Like it just hit me. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I was driving or something, and it hit me like, do you realize you're creating content that's public for everyone to listen that has Spotify? And I believe in America. I'm not sure if it's overseas, but I was like, what the fuck are you doing, Chan? But I was like, you know what? Get rid of that spirit, because that's a spirit of fear. Because that's one thing is once I start thinking about shit, I start thinking like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? What if people are listening to this and they're laughing at me, thinking I'm just the most insane idiot in the world? All my friends and family call me insane and crazy and blah, 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 and it starts getting to your mind. So I had to get rid of it. I said, spit it out. Don't even think. Keep doing what you're doing. Slow and steady. Okay? You already have people trying to tear me down. Already. And I have, probably on a regular basis, 10 listeners. I can't even see how long they listen. I can just tell that they listen for at least 60 seconds. And I probably have, I have over 200 total spins. And already people are trying to tear me down. Already. And it's coming from all angles. Even people are doing some disgusting shit. And it's karma, as well as I'm starting to move forward. And I think people don't like that. People want to move forward with me. But when I was going through tough times, when I was going through great times, these people were never around. They never helped. Everybody knows things, not everybody, but a lot of people around me know things that I was dealing with. Not one person helped. All they want to ever do is offer opinions, tear me down, more so get their claws, in my personal opinion, get their claws in, because once they get their claws in you, then that means you can't go anywhere. You're here now. And then they're going to attack your integrity. They're going to attack your character. They're going to attack your family. And in an abusive relationship, it's funny to me because you always think, why don't you just leave? But that's not the way it works. They got their claws in you. You see them as a form of comfort, as a form of security. I don't know how that works. You would have to talk to a psychologist or a psychiatrist or something. But that's awkward to me. And that's sickening. Why would people do that to each other? Beat somebody down just so that they don't go away. And somebody who just, I don't even want to talk about it because that's not my place. But I just say, you know what? I gotta get rid of all y'all. Like even right now, people who think they're helping me and my spouse, they're trying to help her divorce me, saying that, oh, we just care about her happiness. We want to make sure she's okay. And these people are supposed to be God-fearing people. They're trying to help get rid of my house. Help her sell the house, help her divorce me. You know what I'm saying? And they're thinking they're being helpful. I'm like, in what world? That'd be like if some kid just came to somebody and was like, I hate my mommy, I hate my daddy. And I'm not talking about like some abusive shit or whatever. And possibly there may have been some things in my relationship that weren't healthy. And then somebody's like, okay, well, you can just move in with me or whatnot. And it's like, what world is that okay? Don't you think you should talk to the parents? Don't you think you should figure out the whole situation? But there's people who hear my wife complain, oh, he's a pig, he's a savage. And they're just like, oh, we need to help. Our biggest concerns are the children. Let's help you get divorced. Let's help you sell your home. Like, okay, I don't know what world this is okay, but now listen, if you're in a toxic, abusive, I don't care if you're a multi-billionaire, then yeah, I can understand people are like, oh, you need help. But yeah, it's coming from all angles. It's not stopping. If anything, is getting worse. And I'm in a position where I'm avoiding all of it. I'm trying to avoid all of it. So I say all that to say, you're gonna, oh man, everything is dying. Oh, my laptop's about to die. My phone is dying. Gosh, darn it. But I say all that to say, you're gonna have to bear with me for a second because, as soon as I was soon as I was growing and I was getting out of it, every time I try to get out, they just want to pull me right back in. That's essentially what I'm going through right now. As soon as a point where I'm like, okay, Chan Man, I feel like I'm finding my voice. I feel like I'm finding my content. Okay. I feel like I'm finding my topics. I'm starting to have fun creating content. I'm starting to have a good time. I'm starting to get rest. I'm starting to wake up wanting to create content. It's starting to feel good. As soon as I only had that feeling probably for 2 or 3 weeks. Only had it probably for 2 to 3 weeks. And next thing you know, this past weekend, last couple of weeks, the most disgusting, vile things. Now, to somebody else, they're like, man, stop being a punk or whatever. Nah, man, this shit isn't cool for me, man. This shit is absolutely not cool for me at all with the things that people are trying to do, various things. So this weekend didn't create any content. Today created probably 7 minutes worth of content, and posted it as well. But just to say, you're going to have to bear with me again. It's going to be a slow, I got to pull myself out of this rut once again, there's also another nasty thought going through my head, which is, and I tell people all the time, do not have these thoughts in your head, which is when people start investing, one of the first things everyone always says is, man, I wish I got started sooner. Man, I wish somebody would talk to me about this sooner. It happens every time. And I always tell people, don't think like that. Once you start thinking like that, you can get paralysis by analysis, because you're always feeling like you're in this race and you're behind and you're trying to catch up. So then what do? You throw your hands in the air and say, fuck it. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Why am I even doing this? And it's like, you got to understand, you're in a race of one. That's all it is. It's a race of one. And the race is you. The only thing I would suggest, if I could suggest anything, don't walk. If you can, keep it above a walk. Okay? Don't sprint either. Well, don't sprint. You can sprint, but pace yourself. Just pace yourself. Now, if you want to get to a point where you want to sprint a little bit, go ahead. But you got to also remember, if you sprint, you could possibly wear yourself out, tire yourself out. And then that's going to be the end of it. So get to a point where you can find your Susie pace, or your Charles pace, or your Bob pace, or your, Ali pace, whoever you are, whatever your name is. Find Chan Man pace. Got to find my pace and stick with it. Stick to it. And just chug along. Chug. Just chug along. Just, and don't look left. Don't look right. Don't look behind you. Just look forward. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm just a little tender right now. I'm going to take it slow and just try to get back into barf. And try to get my energy back. And I know it's going to happen again, where somebody's going to come out of left field. Homeboys calling your wife now, asking her to hang out. Homeboys talking trash about your family. Homegirls trying to hit on you, saying, "Oh, I heard you and your wife aren't working out. I've been loving you this whole time." Homegirls trying to talk bad about your family. "Ooh, I knew it would never last. I knew you shouldn't have had children with them," or whatever it is. And do I fall for it sometimes? Possibly. I'm not perfect. I'm not sitting out here saying I'm holier than thou. I know it's going to come out of left field, right field. You know what I'm saying? It's going to come out of all angles. But your foundation needs to be strong. And that's the other thing that's blowing me about some personal shit I'm dealing with. Got these guys calling my spouse, talking about, she's going around telling people she's single, whatever. Got these guys that want to move in, saying, "Oh yeah, I want to be with you. I'm this person. I'm that person. Oh, I'm good with children. Whatever." Assholes, complete assholes. My thing is, how the hell do you think this is going to work when your foundation is all shaky? Like your foundation is all off. You're literally talking to a married woman. You're probably in relationships of your own, and even her. How do you expect to talk to this guy? And foundation is all off. The foundation is weak. Like how do you expect this to work? But you know what? It's neither here nor there, near say, whatever they say. It's none of my business. It's in the hands of God. It's in the hands of the Lord. My Lord. I don't want to offend anybody or anything, but my Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ, and don't quote me. Don't. Fine, if you want to call me a hypocrite, whatever, I don't care. Do whatever you want. Throw all your stones. Luckily, hopefully, my shoulders are broad enough and big enough to be able to take them. But you just want to grow a great foundation. That foundation is what's going to support you, just like in the stock market, when things are rough. So when I'm creating content, if I have my confidence, if I have my product knowledge, if I have the right environment, even good people around me, I'm going to do very well even during rough times. But if my foundation's shaky, just think about it. I could easily quit bar right now. Right now. I'm having a rough time. I didn't create Saturday, didn't create Sunday, barely created today. Really don't even feel like creating right now. Could go into tomorrow, miserable, not create then. We're going in 5 days of no content. We're getting close to about 4 or 5 days, no content. Then that 4 or 5 days can lead to what? 14 days, 21 days. Forget it. It's been too long. I don't even want to create anymore. I'm just going to be depressed, not have a job, try to find a job. Actually, you want to know some crazy shit that I did today? I reached out to this lady named Pham. I found her email address online, and I just emailed her and said, "Hey, I'm jobless." I didn't even care. I was just like, "Hey, I'm jobless. Used to work for I formerly worked for another regulator. Here's my resume. Call me if you want to. Call me if you want to call me." Seriously, it was dead ass that basic. If I could find it, I'll read it to you. Let me see. Man. I'm just so distraught. I'm just all over the place. I can't even think straight. Yeah, everything I'm going through is just terrible right now. My internet just went down. Gosh darn it. What the hell? But yeah, I believe her name is Pham. Let me see if I can find her real quick. Let me see if I can. I'll even read the email that I sent to her. Good afternoon, Commission. Oh, my internet back. Okay, great. Oh, cool. All right. Good afternoon, Commissioner Pham. I have heard a lot of good things about you, and I actually had to look you up on Google. I have been following you on LinkedIn for about a year. In transparency, I have recently been terminated from my role with the former company I was with, and I am seeking employment. I figured that I would send my resume to you directly. Thank you for your time. Attached is my resume. Have a great day. Sincerely, and then my name, Chan Man. No, I didn't put Chan Man. I put my real name. Then I attached my resume and sent it to her. So, Commissioner Pham, let me look her up on LinkedIn. And trust me, I'm not expecting anything back. Caroline DePham. Let me see if I can. She is currently the commissioner of the U.S. Commodities and Futures Trading Commission. She graduated from the George Washington University Law School. I've always wanted to go to George Washington. Not George Washington. I wanted to go to Georgetown. Okay, not George Washington. Didn't get accepted. She worked at Citigroup for approximately 7 years. Head of marketing, or head of market structure and strategic initiatives. Head of capital markets regulatory strategy and engagement. She's a no-nonsense woman. You can tell. This is somebody who I could see myself having a drink with, but really can't wait to get out of there. Just because you can obviously tell she's a no-nonsense lady. So I found her email. The Honorable Carolina D. Pham was appointed by President Biden and unanimously confirmed by the U.S. Senate. She was sworn in as a CFTC, Commissioners Futures Trading Commission Commissioner, on April 14th, 2022, for a 5-year term. So she's 1 year into this, a year and a half. Pham is recognized leader in the financial services, compliance, and regulatory strategy and policy with deep expertise in derivatives and capital markets and emerging issues such as digital innovation. Her substantial experience spans key international issues such as prudential regulation and systematic risk, financial markets, including currencies and commodities, fintech, digital assets, ESG, and the impact of major disruptions like the 2008 financial crisis and the COVID pandemic. Prior to her appointment, Pham advised boards, executive management, policy makers, regulators, and industry leaders on regulatory developments and impact to the global financial system, markets, and banking. She has engaged with the FSB, I don't know who that is, IOSCO, don't even know who that is, Basel Committee, BIS, central banks, government, ministries, and companies across nearly all sectors. Damn, this thing is long. Phams was previously a managing director at a large global bank where she held various senior roles in the chief administrative office, institutional client group, legal, and compliance, working closely with innovation, strategic investment, and product teams. She has built global programs and teams and led initiatives for implementation of the Dodd-Frank Act and other global regulatory reforms. Fuck. I should know what the Dodd-Frank Act is. Goodness gracious, Chan. Get your life. Let me see. Dodd-Frank Act. What is the Dodd-Frank Act?
According to Wikipedia, the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act, commonly referred to as Dodd-Frank, is a United States federal law that was enacted on July 21, 2010.
That ain't say shit. The fuck? Let me see if I can find a little bit more information.
The most far-reaching Wall Street reform in history, Dodd-Frank will prevent the excessive risk-taking that led to the financial crisis. The law also provides common-sense protections for American families, creating new consumer watchdog to prevent mortgage companies and payday lenders from exploiting consumers.
Oh, okay. I gotta do a little bit more research on that. All right, let's just read just a little bit more on Carolina D. Pham, Commissioner at the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. Let me see. Pham's past experiences include serving as special counsel and policy advisor to former CFTC Commissioner Scott O'Malley. She was also a visiting fellow at the George Washington University Center for Law, Economics, and Finance, and served on the Dean's Advisory Council for Business and Financial Law. Good Lord, this woman is amazing. I did see they called her a fellow. I was like, what? Whatever. I mean, I'm not even getting into all that. Pham is a fellow of the American Bar Foundation and received the Cornerstone Award for Lifetime Achievement from the National Conference of Vietnamese American Attorneys. Now, when they said fellow that time, I understood. It was like, she was, yeah. Her former American Bar Association leadership roles include member of the Council of the Business Law Section and the Executive Committee of its Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Board, Vice Chair of the Banking Law Committee, and Co-Chair of the Securities, Capital Markets, and Derivatives Subcommittee. She has led a number of diversity and mentoring initiatives throughout her career. Pham graduated from UCLA and the George Washington University Law School, where she received the Manette Phelps Scholarship. She is from California's Central Valley, the food basket of the world. That's funny. Of course, they had to add that at the end, just to make sure that everybody knows, like, hey, we down, we cool, we not, wow, bilingual. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff about her. So, I don't know how I came across her. I think I was applying for a job at the CFTC. I think I was just trying to see if I could get a job, and um, I think somebody said to me, was like, "Hey, do you know who Carolina Pham is?" Or they were watching her on TV or something. Let's hear Commissioner Pham speak. I want to see what she sounds like. I'm just gonna look her up real quick. Carolina the Pham. Okay, this was 11 months ago, 8 months ago. Let's see if we can find something just recent. She looks like she likes to smile. I don't know if that's training, media training, or if that's just really who she is. She looks like she likes to smile, which is important to me. If you can't smile, man, you kind of scare me a little bit. Kind of intimidate me a little bit. Like, I try to smile all the time. I really do. And it's not that, no offense, I'm not trying to sound hard, but it's not that I won't knock your top off. No offense, but it's just, I think smiling and laughing is just important in life. You know what I'm saying? Let me just go to this. Where is she at? The New York Stock Exchange. Let's hear you talk, Caroline.
New York Stock Exchange here with CFTC Commissioner. I'm Laura DiOrio on the trading floor of the New York Stock Exchange here with CFTC Commissioner Caroline D. Pham. Caroline, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today.
It is so great to be here. Thank you very much.
You are here discussing some important topics at DACAM, the Digital Asset Summit hosted at the New York Stock Exchange. What's the main message you want folks to take away from your remarks?
Well, so what I think is really important about what we were doing here today, and this was really when we were talking about compliance and market integrity, and how do you take that in the digital asset space. And honestly, what I said today, and what I've been saying, is that it's really all about getting back to basics. The rules of having the right market conduct and strong enforcement and oversight are the same, whatever asset class it might be, whether it's equities, or it's FX, fixed income, or digital assets. These are all markets, and we know how to regulate markets.
So in regards to regulation, what are the important steps you want regulators to take moving forward?
Well, so for me, I think that good process provides good outcomes. And so it's so important that regulators go through an open and transparent process that engages with the public, because I think that the people ought to have a voice and a say in the rules that they're going to have to comply with.
We're coming off of recent volatility in the space. What does a so-called responsible digital asset market look like?
So I think first and foremost, you have to make sure that it's free from fraud and manipulation. And the way you get there is through strong market conduct rules. But this is the same thing that we're very used to in existing marketplaces. So like no spoofing, no wash trading, no front running. These are all concepts we're very familiar with. And we surveil them.
Familiar with two of those.
Regulated exchanges have rule books around that. The other thing is that there needs to be transparency. And most of all, I think you have to have responsible market actors. So these need to be regulated firms that have compliance programs and robust risk management, minimum financial resource requirements. All of that comes together to provide a marketplace where you can have some confidence that you're having a good price discovery and it's free from fraud.
Okay, no, that was good to hear from her.
I think this is so important because people look at this.
I'm just looking at her on CNBC.
Well, and everything's going up. People think everything's fine. But this has been a real-world example of what happens when things go wrong. And so what I think is really interesting is what CEO Jeremy Allaire of Circle said, and he was quoted in a Bloomberg article recently, where he said, look, for some of these stable coins, like these algorithmic stable coins, are they in fact derivatives? I think this is really interesting, because if they are in fact...
Fantastic. No, that was fantastic to hear her speak. There's a couple things. I mean, yeah, there's a couple things. She speaks very, very well, but sometimes, you just get concerned. Like, from what I read, she's a Vietnamese woman. Vietnamese American woman. Sometimes you just wonder, what whatever. It like, is it media training? Is it training? Like, I don't know if you ever seen a movie called The King's Speech, but how people are saying, okay, we're going to work on how you talk and we want you to present yourself like this. Okay. And we want you to smile. Okay. And you're going to be fantastic. And she may really not talk like that. I was listening to this comedian named Fluffy who says, how people do that. So I wonder if that's like her work voice or if that's really just how she talks. And also, is she really that, like, does she smile that much? Or, no, she's a beautiful woman, very intelligent. She seems very impressive. So it seems like somebody, if ever had the opportunity to work for her, it'd be an honor. But I have to learn more about her. I just really just kind of found out about her. I told you, sent her a random email. She's probably not going to even get it. Probably went straight to her spam folder. Not even her top spam folder, like her third spam folder, But yeah, we'll get this all figured out. So, yeah. And if you're not familiar with the Commodities and Futures Trading Commission, here we'll just do a little quick snippet. So there's various regulators out there. So if you ever whether it's your bank, your broker dealer, your real estate, your insurance company, whatever it is, there's various regulators out there that regulate this shit to make sure. I mean, to an extent, don't quote me. Even with Janet Yellen and Jerome Powell. Even them, to an extent, they're trying to regulate everything so everything just doesn't go kaput. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep things in nice and balanced. So if you have an issue with your homeowner's insurance, there's various regulators you can go to about that. You can go to your state insurance. If you have an issue with that's the thing about cryptocurrencies. We're trying to figure it out now. It's like, who do we run to? Is the SEC, is it the IRS? Is it FINRA? Who do we run to for cryptocurrency? So there's various regulators to make sure, for example, things like the 2008 crisis don't happen again. Things like the Great Depression, Black Monday, what just happened this past year with bank crisis, to make sure these things don't happen, because it could essentially not only throw off the American economy, it could throw off the world economy, and then we'll be back in the Stone Ages. So let's just take a quick look. What is the CFTC?
According to CFTC Whistleblower Program, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission is an independent U.S. government agency that regulates the U.S. derivatives markets, including futures, options, and swaps.
I'm hearing a lot of them. Spoofing. Let me see, what was that? And I know I got to go through USA Jobs to get a job like that. But I said, man, I'm just going to reach out to her directly. Screw USA Jobs. Give me some. What is spoofing in the stock market?
According to Steeli, spoofing is a market abuse behavior where a trader moves the price of a financial instrument up or down by placing a large buy or sell order with no intention of executing it, thus creating the impression of market interest in that instrument.
Okay. I got it. I've heard of that. Some of these things I just got to refresh. Again, that's why we're doing BARF. It's a way for me to refresh my memory on all these things, as well as it's also therapy. Also, it's a way to possibly help educate other people that may be interested in this. And also, my main thing is I also want to take care of my youngins, my little trap stars, and have them understand that there's other ways to go about things besides putting your family, everything in danger. Can you imagine the amount of people who are dead, are incarcerated, are injured, due to the trap or whatever, and say to themselves, what was I thinking? Essentially, all I wanted to do was talk to that girl or that guy or whatever. All I really wanted to do was just pay some bills. All I really wanted to do was get some clothes, have some food, or whatever it is, make friends. And what was I doing? I'm not really even that person. And now I'm sitting here, in this cell, or no offense to anybody who's handicapped or disabled, but now I'm sitting in a wheelchair, or now my mom or my brother is sitting in a wheelchair because of me, and all these different things. And you really, to an extent, have to make your decision. Like, which way am I going to go? Like, am I going to keep trapping? I mean, I just got my brother shot, or my sister shot, or my child shot, or whatever. It's kidnapped, or whatever. Am I going to keep going down this road? I'm here now, or am I going to just give up this life? And I know you're going to get made fun of a bunch giving up the life. You're going to be called possibly a punk for the rest of your life. Oh yeah, he was a trap star when he was a teenager or whatnot, but he got scared, went to church. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you're going to hear that for the rest of your life. But the greatest revenge is success. They can't say shit when you're successful. When you got your family, you're not looking up. One thing that's truly amazing is not having to look over your shoulder. It is the most beautiful, wonderful feeling. Being able to climb those stairs and turn the key. Sound like Luther Vandross. You know what I'm saying? See, the difference is with Luther, he was saying, and you're there. Your woman's there. Your children are there. Your food is there. Whatever it is. Bills paid. Good. Or you're walking up the stairs, turning your key. Somebody was sitting there on the other stairwell. The stairwell you can't really see. You know what I'm saying? They were just waiting right there, waiting for you to come home. Nobody saw nothing. And you just like, damn. Or, they waiting for you inside. They're just waiting for you to come inside. As soon as you come inside, bah. You know what I'm saying? Compared to, not saying the world already is cold enough. Just alone, without even having to feed. It's already cold. There's no need to even try to, just imagine I do really well in this stock market, right? I'm making multi-millions, 10 millions. I'm on my way to becoming a billionaire. Fuck it. We going there. Already I'm going to have, listen, I have about 200 spins, over 200. People are already trying to break me down. I have not told anyone. I've told uno, dos, tres. I've told probably 3 people about this podcast. No, 5. 2 of them are children. 3 adults about this podcast. And already people are finding out about it close to me. And already I have people trying to break me down, make fun of me, trying to tear me apart over thinking that what they're thinking is I got like 2 million subscribers. Please. Yeah, right. I have 1 Spotify follower, and that's moi. I followed myself on Spotify. And I'm the only follower. I'm about to stop following myself so I can actually see who's really, or I'm just going to just wait. So yeah, please follow me on Spotify. Okay. So I'm talking for about 45 minutes. Thank you so much to anybody and everybody who decided to stop by and kick it with your mans at the house. I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and probably cut this episode, and we're going to hop into barf. Okay. We're going to take it slow because I'm a little Tinder right now. I just explained that. But let's get this done. Thank you so much to anybody and everybody who decided to come by and come kick it with your man at the house. I appreciate it. This is Chan Man. This is House of Barf.